So leak alerts are notification that goes out to our customers to notify them that their meter has had 24 hours of continuous water streaming through their meter. Those notification calls begin to go out around 9 a.m. And then typically, and it's every day, Monday through Friday, but on Monday's date, those notifications also going to include the weekend, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because we're closed, but those notifications are daily. So the robocall is a automatic notification that goes out. So the customer will be contacted if that meter triggers the 24 hours of usage and it's over 50 gallons. Yes, they're going to get a notification. They do have the option of pressing a key to get a representative right away, or they can call the number back that notifies them. If the gallons is 1,000 or less, then that call is going to go back to customer service or representative. If there is water usage over 1,000 gallons, then our conservation specialists take care of that. So the notifications are triggered typically if you have a running toilet. And sometimes when what we mean by a running toilet, so the toilet, the flap didn't close, or maybe the chain got underneath the flap, but if there's continuous water streaming through, and you don't always get to hear it or see it, but if it's streaming through and that meter is reading it, that is a trigger for the alarm. Now the alarm pretty much catches the majority of these notifications. I mean, but one or two could possibly pass through. That's why we ask the customers to be vigilant and help us, because it may not catch it all the time, but it's certainly going to catch it and then notify them. The ones that it don't catch, that's why customers are asked to always pay attention to hear. If you hear that your handle need to be shaken, or your toilet is refilling, the valve is refilling, or if you see water streaming in the bowl, know that that's being run through the meter and you're being charged. Now, running faucets, sinks, showers, or even if you have a water hose, water spigot, those are typical ones too. Now with the water hose, if it has the little nozzle on there and your water is still on, the water is probably leaking out on the side of it, and it's still being charged through the meter. So those are the most common things that we have that trigger that. So if there's a leak in your property outside of the home, we ask that the customers walk around the property to see if there's any standing water or wet spots in the yard, because if there's a leak between the line and the home, that water's coming up to surface and you should be able to see that. But typically we get the notification before the customers get to see that, because the leak alert was triggered. In the event that you have a water leak, or you find out that you had an issue with your toilet, a running toilet. So customer service do offer a courtesy adjustment. We do offer a one-time courtesy adjustment per 12-month billing period. So the repair has to be done first. So if you had something going on, let's say you replaced the flaps in the back of your toilet, you will call customer service. They're only going to need to know what day the repair was done, who did the repair, and what was it that they fixed, and then they'll issue that courtesy adjustment for you. Now we also have other adjustments, like in the event that they're filling a pool, then you want to call and let them know that too, because they do the pool adjustment. Typically when a customer is notified, they're under the impression that there's something running at that time. The notification comes out a day later. So if they're notified on today, that means yesterday's usage is what we're notifying them of today. The system picked it up the day prior, and then the notification goes out the very following morning, the next day, to notify them of the usage. Now on Monday, when it's from the weekend report, it can be Friday's date, Saturday's date, or even Sunday's date, but with the notification. But the system now does advise our customers of the property address and the amount of gallons and which day that the notification is in reference to. We provide these notifications to be proactive and preventive. We want to make sure we help our customers as much as we can to prevent for them having a leak and end up with a very, very high water bill.
So once a customer have over 1,000 gallons of usage and the meter gave off a leak alert, what me and my partner do, we go out to the residence, we check the meter to see if it's still running, still leaking, and then we'll knock on the door, If nobody answers the door, what we do, we'll leave a door tag. Now, if it's over 2,500 gallons of water used in a 24-hour period, we'll turn the meter off if nobody answers the door. The commercial side, we normally don't turn it off because it's something like a apartment complex or business, something like that. So what we do there, if nobody's there, we'll either call them, we'll either send them an email, or sometimes we'll go out and leave a door tag. But if it's something that's way out the normal, like 10,000 or 15,000 gallons of water, we try to personally to go out there and try to talk to somebody. If I was a customer, and matter of fact, I do it at my home as well, I go out, just walk around the yards and make sure that I don't see any wet spots, or even you can go check your water meter. And if you know how to read a water meter, you can see whether or not, are you using water or not. Because a lot of times when you go out there, if you're not using nothing in the house, the numbers shouldn't be changing. So if you see the numbers to the right, study changing, study accumulating, that means you got something going on if you're not using the water in the house. And another thing we do is tell customers is like to check your backflows if you got sprinkler systems, make sure they're not leaking, check your sprinkler heads, make sure they're not leaking, check your hose pipes, make sure you ain't leaving them on. You know, because a lot of times what we have is customers or their kids go out and play with the water, then they'll leave them on overnight, and then we'll get an alert on that too. A couple of more things like toilets, you know, check your toilets, make sure they're not running. Pretty much like faucets, make sure your faucet's not steady dripping. More than likely, a lot of our water heaters are in the garage. So when we go out to get in our cars or whatnot, we can glance over there to make sure we don't see any like puddles or anything going on with our water heater. But yeah, occasionally I would go and check and just look around the water heater to make sure that you don't have any problems. The leak alerts sometimes make our job easier because we're catching it before it becomes a high bill or whatnot, where the customers is kind of outraged or mad or per se, you know, don't understand why they're getting a high bill. So the leak alerts help us to kind of rectify that situation, if you say, and get it before it gets to a high bill. Just be vigilant, just keep your eye open, and if you see something, say something. You know what I mean? Because if it looks like a problem, it is a problem. I mean, standing water, you know, constantly dripping of your outside faucets, anything like that. If you see that, don't just think, okay, that's not a lot of water, or that's not gonna hurt my bill. You know, just kind of get the things that you see fixed, and then you won't see me or my partner coming to your house, or you might not even see a door tag or something like that. Just, you know, just be vigilant of drips and things of that nature.